Hi, today I would like to explain how to apply for the accreditation with the EMCC. And for people who are graduates from the Goldvarg Consulting Group Supervision Certification Program, the process is much simpler than the regular application. So I want to go over the application, what do you need to know and how you can prepare for that. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. So first, what you need to know is that you need to have 120 hours of experience as a supervisor. These hours may be a mix of paid and volunteer work. There is not a maximum number of volunteer work, so the 120 hours may be pro bono work. That's different than the ICF that has a minimum of hours that need to be paid. For the EMCC, you do not need to have a minimum or maximum of volunteer or pro bono hours. So can be all pro bono, can be all paid, doesn't matter. So once that you have a 120 hours, that's the first requirement, you want to work on a statement explaining what is your philosophy of supervision. So that's something that we have not done during the program. And you are supposed to be doing that after you graduate, you have your certificate, you have 120 hours of experience, and then you may be ready to write a statement explaining what is supervision for you, what are your values, what is important, how you supervise, and you want to prepare like a couple of paragraphs about that, around 500 words, not very long, not very short. This is not your bio. This is not where you talk about your experience. It's about your philosophy of supervision. So this is what you need to prepare in advance. You also need to prepare in advance testimonials from people receiving supervision from you, from your supervisees, and you also want a testimonial from your supervisor. So the idea is that you have been working on an ongoing basis with a supervisor, and your supervisor also needs to write a brief statement about recommending you for a credential. So these are the 4 things you want to keep in mind. You want to have the 120 hours, you want to have the statement, you want to have testimonials from your supervisees, and a testimonial from your supervisor. So the idea is that even though you finish the program, whenever you finish the program, you get working with a supervisor who's going to write a statement close to the time you submit your application. So I'm going to go through the application. You can follow me here. You put your name, the date, and the idea is here. You apply if what's the provider is the Goldvarg Consulting Group. And here in the personal details, you will write all of your information. And you need to know when you, if you have an equivalent or program title for ESQA, and our program is ESQA. So you write here ESQA is a program that our program is approved by the EMCC with this credential. The accreditation for the program is called ESQA. So here you complete all of the information. They're also going to be asking you about your credentials with EMCC or ICF. The idea is that you need to have a PCC credential to be able to apply, at least. And then in terms of practice, we're going to be asking you a copy of your certificate from our program. So you will need to attach that. This is to number 1 is the evidence that you have been receiving the training. Number 2 is your personal statement that I was telling you, that is about your reflection about what is supervision, what is your philosophy, if you use any frameworks, anything that you want to talk about ethics. It's a maximum 1,000 words, but you don't need to complete the 1,000. You can do something for 500 words will be enough. 2.2 is about the length of supervision experience. So here it's going to ask you in terms of years, and how do you work as a supervisor? So briefly you talk, well, if you work internally or externally, who are your supervisees? 2.3 here is about adding your curriculum vitae with your information. And here is the form that you use for supervision client contact hours. This is the minimum of 120 hours that you need. with a minimum of 10 supervisees. Now, this is the same form that we have been using in the program. So if you have been using this program, it shouldn't be a problem for you just to copy and paste and put whatever you have been working during the program and after the program here. You don't need to spend a lot of time in the areas you work on. You can put 1 or 2 areas. Doesn't have to be detailed. And sometimes this is the client, an organization time. If you put the client name, may not be part of an organization. So you may not have to write anything here. If the client, the supervisee in this case, has a role, what is the role? But this is not as important. So at the end, you want to write the total hours and the total of supervisee clients. And here is the feedback. So it's asking you for 5 supervisee feedback. In terms of professional development, your own supervision and reflective practice, here is where you will write down if you have been participating in any training, for example, through the, if you have been part of the Global Supervision Alliance group, or if you have participated in the American Coaching Supervision Network meetings or the Asian Supervision Network meetings, if you have attended any of the conferences, all of these opportunities that you have gone through since you graduated from the program. The most important point here is that you work with a supervisor. So who was your supervisor, how many hours of supervision you received. So they want to know in the last 12 months, how many hours of supervision you received. What is the supervisor name? And here is the supervisor comment. Here is when you need some statement from your supervisor. And here you sign up for the declaration that everything you share is true. As you can see, this is a very simple process, very, very simple. If you have any questions, please let me know.